No.
Welcome, fellow castigators, to GasMaskGamers. I'm here with Jensen and Tommy. And baby Gamer Mike will show up later. I'm really not sure. So there's a Haitian gang leader named Barbecue. He
What?
is
Yeah,
the
barbecue.
leader of the G9 and family gang. And he vows to fight in Haiti until the Prime Minister Ariel Henry resigns.
And fled the country.
Right. He's got to leave as well. Old Barbie and his team have been running amok, killing people, lighting people on fire, and of
Eating them.
course, yes, eating them. Barbie used to be on the police force until he was expelled for an attack on the La Saline slums, in which 7 women were raped, 71 people killed, and 400 houses burned down. I think it's fair to say that's enough to expel anyone from the police, although I think he deserved a lot more than that. A consultant in Port-au-Prince calls him the most powerful man in Haiti, which could be true as a state of emergency has been declared in Haiti. The U.S. sent a plane to evacuate the U.S. embassy, and it's because that the mayhem really is that bad. The prime minister's in hiding. It's not gone out in public. Not been seen. If you want to look at the carnage down in the link below, there's all kinds of wonderful pictures and videos of people looking quite bad. But for some reason, if you Google this, you can see for yourself that the media has tried very hard to deny these cannibalism allegations. And of course, it's because Elon Musk used this situation to point out how many Haitians were crossing the border and bringing their people-eating ways with them. And so it only takes a quick Google search to see all these articles that are like, well, the worst thing is that it gives Elon Musk and the violent right credibility, because we're the ones that are violent. Funny joke. And
So a family gang dude is eating people.
yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. Will probably fail to take over Haiti ultimately, but man, is he putting on a good show of it. I mean,
Definitely a warlord.
he's been pretty successful so far, and it's crazy that people are literally being eaten, and the ever-loving media is like, well, the worst thing is the slant on immigration. Yes, that's what we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on convincing people that there's no cannibalism and they're not that bad. Because the cannibalism was what put them over the edge,
Wait.
Raping and killing people, man, that's okay. But eating them was really where you crossed the line there. As if this behavior is a surprise at all. and the lack of it is going to save their image in some way. It's all incredibly stupid and classic Haiti shenanigans, honestly. Especially
Yeah,
Port-au-Prince.
Haiti has a problem with cannibalism and voodoo.
Yep. And
Oh yeah, I know that.
gangs, more than anything.
Made movies about it.
Gangs who do voodoo and cannibalism.
Where am I going?
There we go. But it just classic media. It's just like a couple weeks ago when we talked about the girl who was killed by a Venezuelan immigrant. People are like, well, the worst thing is that it gives the right credibility. Oh yeah, that was the worst thing, not somebody dying. It was like Micah said. The worst thing was the hypocrisy.
Oh, I thought it was all the murdering and the raping.
But no, it was the hypocrisy. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's what's going on in Haiti, and I mean, the media's playing, downplaying it all, but it's pretty serious when the U.S. is kind of like, well, screw this. We're not gonna risk our necks for this one.
There's nothing to gain from it.
Right. Yeah, obviously not a great situation. A pretty dangerous one. Now, this week, we have a very rare England win. I know it's very hard to believe. On this show, we like to make fun of our brothers in England because
Just a bit.
they are knee-high in the shenanigans just like we are. And
That's one way of putting it.
The reality is, it's sad to see as much as we laugh. And it's sort of, as a Western country, it kind of feels like looking into your future. So we can't help but talk about it. But this week, they finally did something good. The NHS has banned puberty blockers.
That's a surprise.
I know. I thought they would never in a million years do something like that. But they actually did it. And their official statement is that there's no actual benefit. How about that? Someone actually had the balls to go, hey, hold on, wait a second. This doesn't actually do anything good for us, does it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're essentially...
Most of Europe has actually banned puberty blockers.
Yeah, because you're essentially castrating your children.
Yeah. You're not allowed to do anything that'll... if you identify as trans, you're not able to do anything if you're under the age of 18, even with parental consent. Which is wild, because it's Europe.
Yeah.
Gotta wait for Tommy to get here.
Pretty wild.
I'm on my way.
I know.
So this is an unexpected turn of events, but quite lovely. Ultimately, as weird as it sounds, your children deserve to orgasm one day.
I don't like it said that way.
I know the wording is terrible, but I mean, that's what it is. Not as children, but as the adults that they can now grow into. Nobody wants to just grow into a big child. That's disgusting. So there's a woman named Danny Lalonders. Lalonders? Not sure how to say that. Danny Lalonders. She is a non-binary game developer who was hired by Cliffhanger Developers to
We gotta
work on
survive
a
around.
Black Panther video game.
Mhm.
In this video that I have down below, Danny says that she doesn't hire white people, period. Just has a rule about it. Doesn't hire white people because they're difficult to work with, and she wants to create a safe environment. So, straight to jail. Go straight to jail. That's illegal. You can't discriminate against people like that. It's annoying how many people in the entertainment industry thinks that you can, and it's probably because nobody ever faces repercussions for this kind of thing. Probably partially because the government does this kind of stuff themselves in a less spoken out loud kind of way. But
The problem isn't that she got caught. The problem is that she said it.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. It's obviously happening all over in all forms of business and things, but for sure the difference is she was stupid enough to
Time for round 2.
say that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But gosh, she, like many others that we have mentioned, deserves to be investigated immediately. And straight to jail. Straight to jail.
Yep.
I'm really getting tired of this.
Yep. It's rough.
And, you know, considering the dominant workforce is white males, they can't really sustain this much longer, so at least there's that.
Yep.
I'm about to die. If I die, we lose this.
I hit E. I was trying to revive you.
I love that. Everyone tries so hard to not be racist that they become
Yeah. If I die,
terribly
we fail.
racist.
You still had like a quarter health left when I ran over.
So as much as I am annoyed by these lefty racists doing lefty racist things, I'm really not too happy with the right either. I want to mention two people who really tried their hardest to piss me off this week. Two guys who I had some level of respect for, and now that is waning. Namely Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh. We'll talk about Matt
I'm not
Walsh in a
surprised there.
bit, but I'm going to start
Wait,
with
who's the
Ben
other
Shapiro
person?
here. Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh.
Besides Ben Shapiro?
Matt Walsh.
Oh,
Matt.
yeah, no surprise.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll talk.
honestly
We'll
not
talk
a fan of
about.
them.
We'll talk about him
I'm
in
really
a second.
not.
But we'll start with Ben Shapiro. He says, and there's a video below if you don't believe me. He says quite emphatically that no one has any business retiring at 65, and that retirement is stupid, period. But if we're going to have it, we should at least
Oh, yeah,
raise
easy for you to
retirement-
say as a young guy.
Yeah, raise retirement to 78. That's right. Multimillionaire Ben Shapiro is trying to tell us that we should work ourselves to the bone until we die. And he's, very emphatic. The taxpayers should not pay for this. And it's like, you don't understand how retirement works, do you? This is money that you're getting back, money that you put into the system.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to criticize Social Security in general and, talk about the Ponzi scheme that it can, easily become and is used as by some, sure, fine. But really? People shouldn't retire? And not at 65, no less? What in the world are you talking about? You say that from your cushy job talking into a camera. Doesn't really convince me that you're right. You sound like a lunatic. And he even kind of does himself in, because he's like, back when we made that, the average life expectancy was 64. And so now that it's 78, it should be 78. And it's like, whoa, you just revealed a problem here. If that's the life expectancy, then how many people are really using this retirement that you're complaining about?
Help! About to die.
Yeah.
Like you just admitted that when it comes to retirement, the government was doing kind of the bare minimum by putting the retirement age just 1 year after average life expectancy. And you're still going to complain about the system's existence as if it's inherently stupid when obviously it isn't enough. Like, it's the complete opposite problem.
He might, like, Social Security itself is kind of stupid, but because you can save up and put money in a 401k, and Social Security used to be good before the government decided, hey, we can pull some money out of this because there's a ton of money sitting there. So,
yeah, lots of problems with Social Security, but what's this nonsense about people shouldn't retire and the retirement age of 65 not being high enough?
well, if you want full benefits from Social Security, you have to wait till you're 72 already. So,
Right.
what's the point?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He kind of outs himself by pulling up all these different numbers. Because it's stupid enough as is, but he's trying to tell us that it shouldn't exist, when the problem is that it's silly and inadequate, not the concept per se. And so he's definitely going at this from the wrong angle, and I don't know who he thinks he's speaking to. Like, how many of his viewers are going to relate to this one? How many people are going to appreciate Ben Shapiro looking into the camera and say, work until you die?
He's the kind of guy that would. He's totally is. He's the kind of guy who would work until he dies. I mean, geez, he's an activist pretty much. He's gonna just keep going until he dies.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you can say he's a political and cultural commentator, but anybody in the Daily Wire is truly just an activist, honestly.
I don't know, but between that, like Ben Shapiro's thing used to be like his mastery of logic, and the sharpness of his logical arguments, And he just seems to be losing that. Like between this and the whole like petty
Throwing shade on Candace Owens.
petty squabbles with other hosts about
At
Israel
other
and,
hosts.
and
Not
saying
even with.
and saying really ridiculous things about Israel. It's like, man, you are really testing my patience. Like how am I supposed to feel, like how am I supposed to have respect for you if you're going to be showing your bias so often? Cuz we know the reason he's not thinking about Israel is because of bias. We know the reason he's not thinking about retirement logically is probably because some kind of bias, although I'm not sure what that is. And so it makes him look foolish and unprincipled, which is really not what you want in a political commentator. At least it's not what I look for.
Damn it.
Because, yeah, his bit about sending Americans to die for Israel was really, really not great. Especially since they can take care of themselves. But anyway, that was his nonsense. I don't know. I mean, how do you guys feel about retirement?
I don't think I'm going to live long enough to see it.
Wow. How long do you expect to live, Tommy?
I expect a big war sometime in my lifetime.
And you expect to die in it?
Yep. We're not too old to die in Europe.
Maybe you should hold off on that Lasix, buddy. You'll have some. You'll have something to throw at him.
I'm still eligible.
Be like, oh no, my eyes are no good.
I'm still eligible.
Bruh.
I'm blind as a.
Even if he wasn't, you know how many war hero stories there are where they only got in because they lied on an eye test? There's so many.
The other thing is, I would make for a really good field translator. Because learning how to read and write languages isn't my forte. Learning how to speak a language quickly and efficiently, that's my forte. That's what I'm good at.
You don't have to tell him that.
It's written down. I've
Did you
applied
write
to
him a
jobs
letter?
with that help. So. So.
All right. So Tommy expects to die and therefore does not have an opinion on retirement. Wow.
I'd say, I mean, you deserve to retire when you want if you know you've worked hard, you know.
You're
I
coming
don't
to the game.
understand this sudden attack on it.
It is
The
really
sudden
weird.
work till you die.
Yeah, I don't want to work till I die. I mean, geez. If I've lived a long life of, you know, working really hard and I'm old and I can't work because of my age, don't I deserve to have some peace before I die?
Some people think the meaning of life is to just work.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously.
But
I'd say it's true to an extent. I mean, geez, you take away a man's ability to work, he will die.
Yeah.
At any age, but
Yeah, I mean, men never really stop working, but you move
they never
to
really
just,
stop. I mean, my
like,
grandpa still
taking
does
care of-
stuff, and he's 80, so it's...
Yeah. That's what
take
I'm
care of
saying,
your
though.
stuff
They
in
misconstrue
your
it
house.
as saying the point of, the point of life is to work, and they go, okay, so that means I have to hold a job.
Yeah,
for my
it's misconstrued. You don't have to hold a job.
It doesn't necessarily mean working for somebody else.
Yeah. So I'm saying if I'm an old man and I can't do what I used to, can't really hold a job as well as I could, and I've saved up 401k and whatnot. Yeah, I deserve to have some damn retirement.
Hmm.
I've worked hard my whole life.
Hmm. You know,
I
So
can
I
make
was
I'm curious, does Ben Shapiro mean when he says work till you'll die, literally hold a job till you die?
well, I mean, since the context is retirement pay, then yeah, I think
I
he does.
assume, I think that's a fair assumption to make, but I do also think he could have said it in the worst way possible as well.
That's true.
So I'm not defending the guy because I don't really agree with a lot of what he says anymore. Um, but sometimes people say things they, that they don't really mean. Like
Hmm.
Micah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true. Kid needs a translator.
Hmm.
Um, Jensen, you need to turn off your in-game mic.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Every
So,
time. How long has that been going on?
For like the last 10 minutes, I've been trying to tell you. Anyway,
How about now?
yeah, that's good. So Matt Walsh, he absolutely bungled a report of his. He's an absolute bungler. He was talking about the whole Sweet Baby Inc. nonsense and the beginning of Gamergate
Wait, are we actually going to go over
Part
that?
2.
Because if we are, you should probably go with that first.
No, I did not plan to
Okay.
go over that. If you know, you know. Anyway. Well, I mean, I guess I could sum it up in 1 second.
Yeah, I'd
Like-
sum it up.
Yeah, there's a company that gets
Consultancy
paid.
firm.
Yeah, it's a consultancy firm that gets hired to make sure that to analyze your video game and make sure that it's woke, and give you advice on how to make it more woke. And they have been absolutely destroying video games. And someone on Steam made a group where they called Sweet Baby Detected, which basically has a list of games that they or one of their affiliates have worked on, so that you know to avoid that and basically boycott. And the workers from the company were just absolutely up in arms about this, which was hilarious because they're like, "Oh, so and so game isn't for you," and then they're like, "Oh, why aren't you playing our game?" It was great. And it has sparked Gamergate 2. It is in full force. It's fantastic, hilarious. And Mount Walsh decided to.
I mean, the whole Gamergate thing started Gamergate 2 thing started way earlier, but
Yeah, hard to say
this
exactly when.
ramped it. Actually, I
exactly
kind of remember
when it started. But
Yeah, no, I remember when it did. It was Az's from Heel vs. Babyface, his Starfield rant.
Starfield.
That's when it
Starfield
started.
rant.
I remember that. I remember I saw that rant live. That is definitely, without a doubt, where it started.
Well, some people would like put it as far back as maybe when who's that annoying chick with the white hair?
That's
And
Frosk.
Yeah, Jessica Frost and the whole was like G2 or whatever.
G4.
All that nonsense.
Uh,
I was thinking
no, that was.
Inspector Gadget.
I'd say that was more isolated. Of just G4. People realizing that they were just a giant fraud of a company. I don't think they had any real impact on the gaming industry. That it really only affected themselves, really.
Yeah. Well, whatever it may be.
It was that. That's what I think. I think it started with Az's rant.
Yeah, whatever it may be. Matt Walsh decided to cash in on this, and he made a pretty outrageous statement in his video where he was like, not many people are talking about this issue. Which is so absurd. Like, what do you mean? Everybody's talking about it all the time.
It's
That's why
it's only the biggest entertainment, industry in the world, video games. It dwarfs television, dwarfs movies, dwarfs publishing. Maybe combined, who knows?
Yeah.
No, but no one's talking
It's
about
crazy.
it,
And it's pretty rich to see Matt Walsh talking about it. The man who has said multiple times that video games are childish and demonic.
Many times.
I mean, he slanders video games every chance he can get. And then he tromps around, has the audacity to tromp around acting like he's the first person to address the problem. Like, really? Like, how dare you? Shut up. You literally think this kind of thing is evil. Don't act like you're our underdog savior.
Yeah, I bet his kids just play outside with like a hoop and a stick.
They probably
Yeah.
do. Those poor children. Yeah, Matt Walsh, like, when he started out, he was all right. He made the What is a Woman documentary, which is a great documentary.
Really good documentary.
Well, the end, like, it wasn't quite, especially the ending wasn't quite as astute as I would have hoped, but it's still a good documentary, and so it seemed like he was, I agreed with him on a lot of stuff. I didn't really watch his videos because
I've seen a few.
I think he's just a boring commentator.
He is.
He's very
Have you ever seen him without a beard? He's ugly.
He's very much.
He's one of those people where a beard is legitimately an improvement on his looks. But I digress.
I have no I don't know.
I've killed him there. I am ugly without a beard. I'm also ugly with one, but that's beside the point.
Anyway, he's basically like a 60-year-old man in a 37-year-old's body. He is just, he doesn't seem like a bad guy, but he is just ridiculously uncool and really not the person that you want fighting for you.
Vouching for conservative Christians.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Like, this is our, like...
Oh, he's not.
Like, you could take one look at Matt Walsh...
I never thought he was.
...and kind of go, oh, this is why liberals own the media. Because this is our hero. Is this dipwad. The man who doesn't know the difference between a comic book and nursery rhymes. He probably eats plain toast for breakfast. He's like the human personification of a white t-shirt. But anyway, hard to have respect for him when he's saying incredibly stupid stuff like that. And it's you know, we know that historically it's not because he actually cares. Because it will get him cred and attention, and you know, I can't. I mean, you know, it's kind of disappointing that this guy's like a multimillionaire, because he probably doesn't do anything cool with his money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's probably
I
a
never
terrible thing to
thought he
say.
was some cultural hero. I thought he was I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this mission.
I'm going to die.
I liked his documentary and I thought he was decent, but
There are
ultimately
no
it
enemies
was
around
his
me.
uncoolness that
Let it be known that Jensen killed me.
I did not get any.
Yeah, you did. You exploded
That
that thing I was standing next to, and there weren't any enemies around.
You made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
That'd be
Anyway, when they say, when I hear people all the time say, far right Christian people, well, they'll never win the culture war. I don't really like that term, but you know, their words, not mine. Like whenever I see Matt Walsh, it's like, yeah, I know why. That's why. I believe them. Because this guy just gives normal people like us a bad rap. Because he's just an idiot talking about things he doesn't know anything about.
A very boring
And
idiot.
advocates, a boring idiot too, who advocates for abandonment of things that he doesn't understand. It's always abandonment. And that's why, you know, you saw this woke crap start appearing in the first place, is because right-wing people, conservative people, just abandon culture, generally. And then crazy, weird, blue-haired people stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's advocating for abandonment again. You know, you don't.
Yep, because the right went,
do that.
I'm going to watch the news and read Tom Clancy for the rest of my life, and that's it.
Oh my gosh. I don't actually like Tom Clancy. I've read one book of his, and holy crap, I was bored to tears. He's not very good, but I digress. It's like you have a child who's going astray, right? Do you A, try to be a better parent and guide them to a better light, or B, abandon them?
Just leave them.
Leave them and let them get worse. What do you think you should do?
Peace. No, you take care.
It's stupid.
Exactly.
It's like trying to uninvent the wheel. Like, media will always be around no matter what you do. It's always going to be popular with the young kids. Humanity's not going to let go of technology or
Why are you guys all the way
anything
over there?
related. I'm just killing. I don't even know what we're doing.
We're trying to get fish, apparently. But I think it's not
okay.
working, so I'm going to try a different mission.
Anyway, it's always going to be around, so it's like you can ignore it all you want, but you're going to create a terrible world for your children that way.
Yeah, I'm not even like advocating for everything to be extreme right or extreme left. I just want normalcy, you know?
Normalcy.
Normality. That's all I want.
Yeah, I mean that's like the one thing that annoys me about like most adults with children I know is like they don't have any like media literacy or social media literacy. And it's like that's fine, but they don't try to understand. So they're just letting their kids go wild with all this stuff. And it's like you can't just ignore it. Like, this is a huge factor in their lives. You have to figure out how to control it and use it to some kind of advantage.
Yep.
But that's not what happens. They make their iPad kids with their, you know, YouTube Kids playlist and all this ridiculous stuff. It's like, well, this is not helpful by any stretch of the
Yeah,
imagination.
I don't really like Matt Walsh for that reason. It's just he does everything wrong.
And apparently doesn't have a lot of integrity anymore, at least. Can't even have that. It's kind of lost the few things that he had behind him. Just need more people to care and more areas and those kinds of things, because for some reason conservative Christians are just like the dullest people on earth, I guess. Don't know what that's all about. So, the CDC has redacted every single word of their 148-page study on the relation between myocarditis and the coof jab.
They deleted it.
So they publicly released an entirely redacted document. Because since,
Wait. It's entirely redacted. So they released a document you can't read?
precisely, because they had to release it. Them's the rules. But they also can't have anyone seeing what's in there. So it's entirely redacted. Which is crazy. Like they couldn't have thrown us a bone. Couldn't have even had a little bit of it. I mean, what does that tell you? They didn't even want us putting the pieces together out of the dregs of whatever it was. Highly suspicious. I'm sure no one will ask for otherwise, and nothing positive will come of it, I'm sure. But just another just, the CDC acting up again, being suspicious as always.
Nothing new.
What else is new? I don't know. Speaking of predictable things, the director of Amazon's Fallout series, Jonathan Nolan, says that the series wasn't made to please fans. He didn't make it for the fans, and I ask, well, okay, then who the hell is the audience supposed to be? It isn't anyone else. It's not of a high enough quality to drag in anyone else. So good luck getting anyone to watch it. And his explanation why he didn't make it for the fans, what's his little excuse? Well, it just can't be done.
Right.
You just can't do it. Can't be done.
You tell me.
I'm not even gonna try. Like how big of an idiot do you have to be? If that were true, we wouldn't have franchises. Because every sequel or adaptation that has ever existed would have been a big failure. There would not be franchises. There would not be the insane amount of franchises that do exist in this world. We wouldn't have big cash cow intellectual properties. Like, how stupid are you? What do you mean it can't be done? Maybe you can't do it. But that's a different thing. Like, obviously, you're an incompetent idiot. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. Just amazing how these people go out, make an
Oh?
absolute fool of themselves in interviews. Their show fails entirely, and then, you know what? They'll get hired for the next project. And we have to continue to suffer them. It's all so tiring. It's all so tiring. I mean, it was Amazon, so it wasn't like I thought there was a chance it was going to be good. But
Next area.
nonetheless. Ooh, a fishy. So there's a very interesting California study, and I'm surprised that this came out of California and that they reported
all the
honestly
fish.
and didn't fudge the numbers. But this study comes out of California. It showed that the suicide rate among men who had gender surgery was twice as high as it was before. So basically what they did was they compared the suicide rates of men with gender dysphoria who did not have surgery, and then how suicidal they were after the surgery. And of course, after surgery, it was twice as much. Literally twice as much. Not surprising to us, obviously. But that's crazy. I wish I knew, like, the statistics on that. Like, like how many out of how many men who have surgically transitioned want to die. You know what I mean? But it just totally breaks the narrative because everyone's talking about, like, oh, if you don't let them be trans, then they'll kill themselves. And everybody wants a transgender genocide. But apparently it's the complete opposite. Giving them what they want is worse. Because it is remotely what they need, not remotely good for them. And I'd also like to say I completely hate using their language and saying things like gender reassignment surgery and transgender and all these different things. Because none of those things actually exist.
You bigot.
Like
Transphobe.
the surgeries don't give you anything even remotely like the opposite gender's genitals. Like you've like this is a physical impossibility. If you're a man getting what they call a vaginoplasty, all you get is a rotting meat
pocket.
hovel below your abdomen that leaks lubricant from your colon.
It's a crappy fresh pocket.
And yeah, exactly. So it's not even remotely like a vagina. All you've done is now surgically castrated yourself.
Nice Beowulf.
I know.
Deprived yourself of any kind of sexual feelings, just so that you can have a rotting, festering meat crater that leaks poop juice.
Yeah, imagine.
Of
going
course you
through
would want to
life-
kill yourself.
Yeah, imagine going through your whole life with no sexual feeling or drive whatsoever. Not even. Yeah, even on like a small level, like you see a hot girl in the movie, you know, nothing. Just absolutely nothing. Yeah, you'd want to kill yourself.
Well, I was talking
It's
more about how those nerve endings are all dead. But yes,
Yeah.
there's generally no desire either.
no. There's a medical doctor, Tucker Carlson interviewed. I think it was last year. Um, it will take away, especially if you're doing hormone therapy, literally
Yeah.
all sexual drive whatsoever.
Yeah.
In the slightest, you will be zombie
Yeah. So even if
in a way.
if those sensitive nerve endings still worked, you wouldn't you wouldn't want it in any way. You just be like, eh. I get to feel the knife. So it's a lie. It's a big lie. That's why I hate using their terminology, because it makes it sound like what they're selling people is some kind of reality, but it isn't. And I feel rather deeply that it should be illegal, because you are taking a part of the body that is healthy and you are harming it and making it into something that will never heal. You know, like you can't just like there's a reason in the US it is illegal to chop off someone's limb for cosmetic reasons. You can't just do that because you are destroying a healthy part of the body. And anyone who performs it should have their medical license taken away, because you've absolutely ignored your Hippocratic oath of do no harm. So it's funny, we got all of this talk about you know, how you shouldn't be able to make these decisions until you're 18, and we don't want to push this stuff on children. And it's like, well, yes, that is true, but it should be illegal to perform these surgeries. Like, it's not even an argument about whether they should be free to choose it.
Give me a second.
Like, that's not what it is at all. This is a matter of whether such a thing should be legal to perform, and anyone with an ounce of logic would say, no, of course it shouldn't. Of course you shouldn't be able to take a chunk out of someone's leg or arm and mutilate their genitals. No, doctors shouldn't be able to lie to people and tell them that they can change their gender. And instead what they get is absolute body horror. I mean, gosh, looking at some of those pictures, it's worse than Hellraiser. You know, in a weird way, that reminds me. Did you see that Alien trailer, Jensen?
There's an Alien trailer?
Hmm. For Alien Romulus.
Romulus?
I hate the
What
title
the heck?
because Romulus is a planet in Star Trek.
A well-known planet in Star Trek.
Yeah, a very often
Okay.
said. Like, it's not even just something obscure from Star Trek. Like, the Romulans are very prominent. I have no idea why they would name a sci-fi movie that, if it were not
Name recognition.
It's Star Trek. What in the world?
Yeah.
That's stupid. We're talking about aliens.
Crossover time.
That's it's kind of silly. I mean, visually it doesn't look too bad. The sets look pretty much
Is it?
exact.
Oh,
The sets look like the Nostromo.
oh, that's nice. Uh, this is a weird question. Was Michael Fassbender in the trailer?
No, he was not.
Interesting. They just ended the last one like they were gonna continue with his character.
Hmm.
It was it's slightly open ended. Um, a lot of people didn't like the ending. I just like the ending because it's pretty dark.
Hmm. I didn't see the last two.
Prometheus was pretty.
I've only seen all the ones
It
with
wasn't
Ripley.
that great. Alien Covenant. It was okay. It wasn't. It doesn't compare to the original Alien trilogy, but it was okay. The main character was just an Ellen Ripley ripoff. Um, Danny McBride was pretty funny. Uh, didn't expect to see a comedy actor like him in a horror film. But it was pretty nice to see.
He did write Halloween. Weirdo.
I thought he just did the comedy in that one.
I'm not sure. I just know that he had a writing credit on it.
Yeah, I thought it was like the comedic parts. He had a writing credit for.
I can't turn this thing. What the heck?
I'll watch it in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel kind of.
1, 2, and 3 solid films. 4,
I don't
Don't get
know.
it.
I'm on the fence. I mean, it's nice that
4
they
was
brought
okay.
back kind of the isolationism of it. I think it's weird that it has such a young cast. Like, I prefer the original cast of like really normal looking, like working class
Still my kill.
adults.
I'll save you.
Like having the victims be a bunch of fresh-faced fornicators is pretty average for horror. I thought it was nice that Alien did something different. So that's a little odd, especially with one of them who's like a skinhead chick. Looks very gay. Not my cup of tea. And I think Alien Isolation would have been an easy adaptation, but whatever.
What, the game?
Yeah.
Into a movie?
Yeah.
I don't. What? Why? The game is fantastic. Play the game.
I'm just saying it would be an easy that's what I'm saying.
It would make an easy
it would be easy.
adaptation.
I'm
I
not saying
freaking
they
love
should
that
have.
game.
I'm just saying it. If they wanted an easy win,
I'm just upset that that game never got sequeled.
I really thought it would.
It was a damn good game.
I have no idea what game you guys are
Stupid
talking about.
hard.
It's a sequel. It's to Alien, the original. It's a video game sequel. Made by Sega, and it was a damn good game. It's surprising how good it was coming from Sega these days. But they that it was clear that visually they wanted it to be as accurate as possible to the original first two movies. That to the point where they had used unused concept art from the original movie and implemented it into the game to make the world feel real. It was fantastic. Fantastic game. I love that game.
Yeah. The real glimmer of hope that I have is not really the trailer, but just that it's directed by
Does Ridley Scott have involvement?
think he's producing, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But it's directed by the guy who did the Evil Dead remake.
Okay.
So that's kind of the glimmer of hope in all of it, is that it
Even if it's
does
bad, it'll be a
have-
well-directed film. It'll
Right.
visually look great.
It'll look good for sure.
You
Well, like I
should say
said,
the
from the
same thing
trailer,
about
it
Ridley
does
Scott
look
these
good.
days too.
Well, yes.
Even if it's crap, it still is gonna look great.
Yes, Napoleon looked very nice. Very polished crap.
He knows how to polish a turd. I'll tell you that.
It was a long movie.
Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah,
You guys can just stay right there. I'm turning a mission in.
worst part of the trailer was they had a shot. Like you kind of understand like through dialogue, and like I think there's even like a little visual diagram of how facehuggers work. But there's a shot in the trailer of someone like getting absolutely deep-throated by a facehugger, and it's that's just too hard to look at, man. Like, my gosh. I didn't want to see that.
Don't travel yet.
I did not want to see that. Anyway, where were we? Somehow went from
All right, travel.
transgender suicide to the alien Romulus. So Texas enacts law, like many states, that requires age verification for the use of adult sites. And instead of doing that, Pornhub just decided we're out. And Pornhub has pulled out of Texas. They pulled out fast and hard so as not to create any mistakes, of course. Quite a cautionary pull out, I would say.
Preventative measures.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Protection for the company. You know, gotta have protection. That's what pulling out is all about. Come on, help me out here.
What's
I didn't have any. I was trying to think of another one. But yeah, interesting. The company is just kind of giving up. They're like, and it's funny because they did this with one other state. I can't remember which one. I think Illinois or something like that. And they always make a statement, and they make these little threats. Like there's some kind of like big. Like they're always implying that the economy is going to tank without them.
right.
The free site.
Yeah, and exactly. It's like you're a free site, buddy.
Oops. I didn't mean to get out.
And nobody in the history of ever has needed Pornhub to watch free porn. Nobody.
I know.
I think
they require age verification now.
Who does?
Yeah,
In
I know
Virginia.
that
Yeah,
too because
Virginia.
one of my coworkers didn't believe that when one of my other coworkers told him, and so he tried to open Pornhub at work.
Classy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say who.
Bill.
What?
Bill.
I don't have a coworker named Bill.
I
But
was making a joke.
I have one named William though. No, I'm joking.
I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
The porn industry tanking would only be bad for California. And even then,
Yeah.
And
they
people
get
who
over
live
it.
on the internet.
Even then, they'd get over it. So that's pretty interesting. You know, like I was pretty surprised when the first state.
I guess they thought it was too hard. They couldn't keep it in.
Just too much work.
Yeah, they knew if they kept it in, they'd be in for a rough ride.
They came and went. It was a come and go.
There it is. I was looking for that.
Nice. Yeah, the first state that did this, I was pretty surprised. Because, I mean, just the sheer amount of porn addicts in this world is incredible. So every state that actually goes ahead and does it, I'm like, oh, wow. It's a fun little surprise each time. It warms the heart.
Sure.
Reminds me of how the House of Representatives passed the ban the TikTok ban, and so now it's on to the next group of idiots. Because what they were threatening to do before is they were like, the reason they put off the ban in the first place was because they were like, well, actually, what if we could control it? And that was really bad. It was like, well, I'd rather have TikTok controlled by the CCP than the US, honestly. I know that sounds horrible to say, but
That's a hell of a statement.
But no, this is, well, yeah, it shows you how bad things have gotten. But no, it is actually like a full ban that they're presenting, which is very nice and very surprising. I didn't think that they would actually do it. And I mean, maybe they won't, but at least the House thought so. Anyway, Riley Gaines and 15 other athletes are suing the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletics Association, for losing out on titles, records, and rosters to men posing as women. If you didn't know, they recently got a leg up because Leah Thomas, or whatever the hell his name actually is, was just banned from so many sporting events that he literally just gave up. He retired, quit. So now they're like, okay, we can work with this. And so they are citing that the NCAA has violated the federal civil rights law of Title IX. If you don't know which one that is, I looked it up. It is the sexual discrimination in federal funded education programs. And hopefully it works because, I mean, not just justice, obviously, but a cautionary tale, an example for everyone else in sports across the nation. Show, you could have this kind of lawsuit on your hands. You could have a civil rights lawsuit. It's also a really interesting angle to attack the issue from, because you are essentially going to have, because if a court, like if this were to work, you would essentially be getting the court to admit that the transgender women are indeed men.
Yeah.
And that would be significant if it were to work. So it's really interesting that this is being presented as a civil rights violation. And rightfully so. And I think if it works, it will be, long-term. It will be considered as a very important moment, I think. So, Godspeed to Riley Gaines and whoever the 15 other athletes are. Yo, this thing's got a big butt.
Oh, what the heck?
What?
It just pooped.
Yep.
The giant monster.
Oh, I've been shooting at it from the bridge.
Scared to come down here and fight?
No, it's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been a detriment down here anyways.
So, Irvin Lopez is a teacher in Maryland who, at his school, he sexually abused multiple children. We don't know how many, but it's at least more than 3. Based off of a comment from like a police officer or something, I can't remember who it was. But we know it's more than 3. So this guy, absolute nutcase. And it's pretty crazy that Mr. Lopez is in the country being allowed to teach, no less, because he has been deported twice. That is what a weak border gets you. That is...
Wait. A guy got a teaching job and he's been deported?
Yes, and he's been
Ow.
deported twice. And that's what happens with a weak border. That's what happens with when you have affirmative action and DEI and all this woke garbage, is someone who's been deported twice because he's a lunatic can just waltz across the border, go up into Maryland, and get a teaching job and diddle a bunch of kids.
Of course, it's Maryland.
Great job, America. Great job,
All right, you guys walk
Maryland.
to the objective. I'm going to be right back.
I don't even know where the objective is. Like, how absolutely horrible. I mean, I think whoever hired him and ignored a number of things, obviously, deserves a good, hard flogging, personally. And Mayorkas deserves a good flogging, and Biden's whole administration deserves a good flogging. For this alone, not to mention everything else.
Yeah. I will always stand by the sentiment that pedophiles should be just executed.
Yep.
Shot on sight.
Absolutely. I agree. There is no earthly redemption for a pedophile. The only one that can deal with them at that point is God. And we should be eager to arrange that meeting. Yes, I am staunchly, unequivocally for capital punishment for those noncing tweakers. So, Trafalgar Square is considered the heart of London. I guess I say it Trafalgar because I'm used to their accents, but I guess we would technically pronounce it Trafalgar?
Trafalgar.
I don't know. But that sounds
Guys, I said walk the
stupid
objective.
and wrong.
We don't know where it is.
Damn it.
So,
Back the way we came.
Trafalgar Square, the heart of London, it has all kinds of statues on these big plinths. You've probably seen them in movies and TV shows all the time. There's a rather famous one of King George on a horse.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, even if you can't picture what I'm talking about, you would know it the second you saw it. They have a fourth plinth that is empty for various monetary and other reasons that never got a statue put on it. It was originally supposed to have a famous English leader on it, like all the others. I mean, Trafalgar Square is just covered with not just these plinths with statues, but just absolutely covered in busts of all kinds of great leaders and historical figures, and just steeped with British history. And so what does Britain decide to do with it? Do we decide to finish it? Put the statue that was originally intended to be put on that fourth plinth with its original unused design? No. We'll put a different statue on it every 2 years, and we'll hold a little contest for what's going to be put up there.
Harambe.
Harambe.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The Cincinnati Gorilla.
Yeah, that's not quite English history. That's
I'm sorry.
that's us history.
It's good enough
James
for
May.
me.
James May.
James May.
James May.
That would
want
be
it.
magnificent. James May up there. He is far too controversial.
Okay, Jeremy Clarkson.
Same problem. I mean, all three of those guys.
Oh, come on. He is probably one of the biggest names in British culture right now.
No, it's
They'll
true.
have to deal with it.
All three of them are.
All three of them.
They
were the hosts of the biggest television show in the world.
Yeah. Britain as a country owes them a lot. It's true. But anyway, so the fourth plinth in Trafalgar Square has been host to a number of weird things over the years. But in 2026, because they have now announced the 2026 winners, in 2026, it will feature a statue of a
George Floyd.
black woman with a huge ass.
With a what?
With a huge ass.
What?
I'm not kidding. Like, when you see this thing, you're gonna think, okay, that's satire, but it's absolutely real.
Put it in the chat.
All right, just a second. I got some crab worms trying to kill me. But it is absurd looking, and it's not even like a bronze statue or anything. Like, it doesn't fit in with all the others. Like, it's got color to it for some reason. I guess so that you could tell she's black. I don't know. But it's just a little, like, cartoony black woman with a big ass.
Yes, no way.
I'm not kidding.
Hey, it won't let me accept the mission. Can one of you try?
Let me get this.
Uh,
No, it won't let me do it because I've already done it.
Tommy hasn't. It's right here.
All right, here you go. Take a look.
What the hell is that? Where is it?
Oh my god! That's what won?
Isn't that going to look magnificent in Trafalgar Square with all of the English leaders,
no.
all the
What's the other
greats?
thing I'm looking? I don't know what I'm looking at. What is that?
Where's the mission?
It's the thing next to it.
I'm not sure. The Fortress of Solitude, maybe?
No,
Looks
that's all
like a
spiked.
ghost in a sheet.
It's a KKK member.
A ghost?
The ghost of Christmas future.
Yeah.
Did it let you
Yeah, a
accept it,
little
Tommy?
bit of Dickens
claptrap?
history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to find out about pancake.
It won't let me accept it. Oh, it's in progress. Oh, no. That's why. Okay, I found it. All right.
So anyway, that's gonna be just I don't know why, like, I get like the novelty of putting up a different statue there, ha ha ha, but like, why does it have to be something so aesthetically different? Like, why does everything that they put there have to be ugly and detract from the architectural beauty of Trafalgar Square?
I
It's
don't
the
know,
Brits.
man.
You make it sound like they have any taste.
Like, what's wrong with you people?
I think it's in the
Stop
food they
it.
eat.
Get some help.
I mean, everything they have is so tasteless to begin with.
Everything's so bland. I mean, a breakfast of beans on toast will drive a man crazy, I guess.
No, no more beats.
Someone posted a picture today of beans on waffles.
I will commit war crimes.
And someone
That
said
sounds like they did.
the English shouldn't be allowed to have taste buds.
I agree.
And Carl Benjamin said, "Go straight to hell."
All right, somebody's
So
mic is
they're-
making noise.
The English are very defensive of their bland food for some reason.
Oh, they've lost food privileges.
It probably explains why, like, Indian food is such like a regular and popular thing there.
Hurry.
Yeah, like curry is just like part of their like normal cuisine now.
Hey, curry is pretty great.
I mean, I know it also has to do with the historical relationship, but I'm just saying, like, it probably is the best thing that they've had. Which is sad. I think it's really funny that Europeans go after, like, criticize Americans' food so much when England is right there. Like, at least we've got, like, barbecue, you know?
Britain conquered over half the world for spices and decided they don't like any of them.
Maybe they just got their fill and were like, oh,
Exactly.
we've had enough of spices.
Too much spices. Too many. It's too many.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
I don't know. I know that, like, off-the-shelf American food is absolutely poison, but
Man,
if
that
if you
corn
can
syrup does something to you.
if you cook
Yeah.
if you cook, or if you find a good restaurant, it can be
Me over
quite
here making
comparable to
homemade fried
anything
chicken
in Europe.
sandwiches that would blow a British person into next year.
Exactly. Like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we got so many like great hole in the wall places, just like Europe does.
If you go to a McDonald's, well, I don't like American food. You're just wrong.
Like I learned today that
Yeah, McDonald's is great.
like what is generally considered by food critics um, to be like in the top like 5 best empanadas in the whole country is in the corner of a gas station in Spotsylvania.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And it looks super sketchy. Like, I would probably never choose to eat there. But apparently it's the best we got, and that's America. People are like, everything's ugly and weird. But it's like, if you know how to look for it, the greatness is there. It's there. In the heart of our creepy gas stations.
Yeah, and sometimes they get noticed and they move up. There's one at I worked for Kevin. There was a food truck in the area, really small, not particularly anything interesting about it, but it took off, and now they have their own like actual restaurant space.
Rock
And
on.
it's actually really nice. They're so popular. And they just made burgers. That was it.
Just burgers, man.
It's burgers.
They made burgers, and they're damn good burgers. Like, we should go down there sometime.
There's some
What are
places
their
near
prices
me
like?
make really good food. Up
Yeah.
here.
Sometimes the really small, insignificant looking places make some really dang good food, and they take off.
Yeah. Small businesses. That's what I'm talking about.
And I watched it happen in real time.
Yeah, I love to stop at little
Capitalism
holes
is
in the wall.
beautiful, isn't it?
Because the worst that can happen is I get food poisoning.
Yeah.
And if that's a risk I am willing to take. Oh, food poisoning never hurt anyone. But that's a turret. Turrets, on the other hand, will hurt someone.
Why are we aggressively running into a rock?
I was stuck.
Oh. So anyway, that's besides the point. That's enough about defending American food. There will be opportunities.
We also have better dental care.
That's true.
Well, at least our schools.
There's a lot of great things about America, but here's something that's not so great. So, 6 Massachusetts students between the ages of 13 and 14 are facing a criminal investigation for racist comments in a Snapchat group chat. Try saying that 10 times fast. Snapchat group chat.
Wait.
And because the police likes to waste time, I guess, they have launched a month-long investigation to see if they can get these kids on hate speech charges.
This is why whenever I pay taxes, and I file my taxes, I really want a detailed list of everything my tax dollars actually go to. I just like to know that they're being used.
Excuse me, government. Can I get this bill itemized?
Well, they're being used.
Oh, I know that, but like I'd just like to know, well, for what? For me specifically, what they're
'Cause, I
being
mean,
used
the
for.
police have literally spent a month reading these kids' group chat, sitting on their asses, and they still have not concluded their investigation. Like, what an absolute waste of time, really.
All right, boys, time to delete the group chat.
Yeah, we're
They're on to
getting in
us.
trouble. We've said much worse things than 13-year-olds on Snapchat.
Micah dropped the N word.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Nobody needed to know that.
Hey, he was saying the title of a movie. Okay,
He
he's
was
not
in the
just
middle of a movie.
yeah. His
That's
favorite movie.
that's true. That's true.
You saved it and then you killed it.
Yeah.
What?
You saved
No,
it by
no, I
saying his
didn't.
movie, and then you ruined it by saying it's his favorite movie.
Did I though?
But obviously, this is absolutely stupid. I mean, criminal charges, really? And of course, they were just sharing memes. Memes that were in, I mean, pretty bad taste. You know, memes about slaves and stuff like that.
What?
And they even they did a mock slave auction, and it was sort of like a way to just like very like just a very mean-spirited way to pal around as friends do, where they're just like, oh, you're only worth, $2, Kevin. That, that kind of thing. Like, it really was not. And like the police are investigating, like, oh, we got to see if they were like inciting violence and it was going too far, and it was like, really, come on.
Might go over that 67 cents and a stale potato chip.
Yeah, sorry, Micah.
Yep. And it's like, don't you know how people talk? Don't you know how teenagers talk to each other? Like, I mean, even if what they were saying was truly hateful, like, even then, who cares? Really, you're gonna prosecute these kids because they said mean things in the Snapchat? Like, what in the world? What an absolute absurd, stupid waste of time.
Teenagers are going to teenage. I am 100% certain that I have said things worse than that at one point or another.
Yeah, probably. Nothing I can recall, but probably.
Oh, I know I did in high school. And probably in middle school, too.
Well, it's just how kids are. They push the boundaries to discover the limits of their world and their social lives. It's just how it is. And it's so absurd, so unbelievably absurd to try and police that. So basically, don't raise your kids in Massachusetts because they're a bunch of morons who will try
It's a cute car, Tommy.
who will try to press
you.
criminal charges on
you.
your child
Aww.
because they said mean things in a group chat. Maybe.
Oh, no.
Whatever shall we do?
Anyways.
I mean, what an absolute useless police force. Bunch of friggin' snowflakes. I bet they deep throat donuts really sexually.
How do you sexually deep throat a donut?
Just think about it. Think about it. Think about it.
Now,
No.
if it was an eclair, I'd agree with you.
I mean,
But you had to go.
any kind of pastry, really.
Yeah, but a donut isn't.
I mean, if you had like half a donut,
You know what I mean.
or one with like a bite taken out of it, not like a whole donut, then it would be mildly phallic for sure. Like you could make it work.
That's reaching. I like the eclair.
Yeah, Claire works better. I kind of want to get an eclair now. But it could be because I haven't eaten dinner yet.
I know. I could go for an eclair.
Yeah, you guys are taking up Micah's spot now that he's not here.
Hey, no. Nobody gets to take up his spot. He is our gay little boy.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you guys are falling in that seat for now.
No.
Don't rope me into this.
Micah's the resident gay man. We're not. All right, he's our diversity.
He's our diversity hire.
Yeah, he's our
We're not gonna take that
homo
from him.
steader.
Almost.
Almost. Perfect. Our resident homo steader, Micah.
I'm really proud of myself.
We
for
would
that
be
one.
doing wrong by the minorities
wait.
if you would be to take his place. It would just be wrong.
I gotta give this to me. I deserve that one.
Oh my goodness.
Not even Andy's getting bullied. Sorry, character building. It's character building, not bullying.
Character building. That's right. Speaking of having minorities, a leaked Air Force memo shows that they have a racial quota system. The document, which you can read below, and I encourage, is marked with red numbers where the admissions committee did not meet, quote, class composition goals.
Oh!
For racial minorities and women. So, I mean, it's no surprise, but there you go. When you're entering the Air Force, you know, and you want someone to protect your country and be competent, we don't care about merit. Screw that. We only care about how many black women are on the team. And I'm actually going to read a little bit for you, because I think it's some pretty silly nonsense. I'm going to read part of this memo. So, the subject, officer source of commission, applicant pool goals. Diversity and inclusion are an essential part of our society and key to the success of any organization. As such, it is imperative that the composition of our military services better reflect our nation's highly talented, diverse, and eligible population. This memorandum updates the Department of the Air Force officer applicant pool goals, broken down by race, ethnicity, and gender. Critically, it also continues our progress towards achieving a force more representative of our nation, while leveraging that diversity to enhance the Air and Space Force ability to deter and, if necessary, deny our nation's competitors. So we have diversity so that we can keep up with the competition of other countries? What? That doesn't even remotely make sense. And I won't read, but they have a little graph here of what kind of what percentages they have as their goal. And their goal is for it to be 43% white male. There's a whole bunch, but that's the main thing to note is their goal is to have 43% white male, which is insane. Because guess what the majority of the military is made up of? And can anyone take a guess?
White males.
White males. And those are not
Oh,
only what makes up
yes.
most of the military, but what makes up most of their possible
If you
new
die, it will
recruits.
spawn you all the way at the beginning of the map. So it'd be good if Jaeden was here.
I'm trying to get there.
So don't die.
For a safe distance.
So they're just absolutely ruining their pool of options. And you have to know, like they just have to be lowering their standards to get anywhere near a diversity quota. They just have to be. Because their good options are predominantly white men. Not only because the population of the U.S. is mostly white men, but because men are going to be all your strong fighters. So it's just absolutely absurd. They're like, why don't we just try our hardest to have a weak Air Force? How about that?
It's the Air Force.
And,
All
and
they
I
have to do
agree
is
with
fly
you.
planes. They don't really have to be physically strong there. They're just flying planes. Or drones now. It's mainly unmanned drones.
Even so, I mean, women do not have as good of reaction time or quick twitch muscles or all kinds of things. Like, it isn't just chunkiness that does it. Like, there's lots of other factors. So yeah, it does absolutely matter. Maybe it's good that Davis is going for Army, not Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want him statistically. I'm joking though. Of course the Air Force has this as well. I mean, of course the Army has this as well.
Well,
Like
yeah.
I said, it's something they do a very bad job of keeping secret, but the whole government has these highly illegal affirmative action policies.
Only
And
illegal if you
everything
get
that the
caught.
government controls, therefore, does. And it's all lies in deception. There's no true diversity, because as soon as they've filled all of their positions with minorities, they don't go, okay, let's go and hire some men to keep the numbers even. Nope. Once you get that wrong woman in charge, they're only going to hire women. Every time. And that's why you can't give these people the time of day. You can't listen to them or give them any kind of power, because they're not going to play fair. They're absolutely trying their hardest to guilt you into playing what they perceive as fair, but they will never do the same for you, ever. So you can't... It's not even worth trying to placate these people. So there you go. Just the 1 millionth thing that we've gone over tonight that is not really surprising in any way, but highly disappointing. And hope that enough people get made an example of, because
Why is that tiny thing so
what
pop-
an
so-
absolute civil rights violation. What an absolute human rights violation. What an absolute law violation. Go on and on. These morons. So the Supreme Court, and we were expecting this, They've been dragging their feet, but the Supreme Court that has ruled that the Texas National Guard is allowed to make arrests and deportations. So basically, they shuffled their feet and went, okay, you're allowed to do your job. Because legally speaking, there was no other possible outcome. They have a right to operate this way.
Technically, the governor has the right to issue that order too, because the National Guard answers to the state governor, not the Fed.
Well, that was what happened, remember?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty expected. I mean, the statement of anything else would have them dead to rights. It would have a number of militias calling their number. It's yeah. It would not have been a good idea to say anything else. But still, it is stupid that it did go all the way to the top and went to the Supreme Court. Like, really? They have a legal right to do their jobs. This shouldn't even be a conversation.
Yep.
It's so stupid. But it's nice to know that at least in Texas, of course we got lots of other border states, unfortunately, but it's nice to know that at least Texas can close itself off and do its thing. And basically say, screw what anyone else thinks.
Yep. I have to jump, lads. It is late. And I have to wake up early tomorrow.
Alright.
So do I. I have to get up early too.
We are almost.
How many more things do we have to talk about?
We're almost done.
Okay.
Alright.
That didn't answer my question though.
I'm killing spider ants. I'm not counting. I just know we're close.
Come on, buddy.
Alright, you have fun, Tommy.
Yep. See y'all tomorrow. Or talk to y'all later.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
See y'all.
Good night.
Night.
Now it's just bro talk.
No, bro talk.
Now it's just bro talk.
Welcome to the segment of the show that we like to call Bro Talk. Just me and you, partner.
Yeehaw.
We haven't even eaten yet. You can't go to bed if you wanted to. Ha.
What?
So the Illinois judge, Sharon Coleman, has ruled that an illegal immigrant's Second Amendment rights were violated.
Do you remember where Crazy Earl is? Apparently he has jobs. I don't remember where he is.
He should be in Firestone, I think.
Where is that?
In Firestone. It's like the first location. The hub. But I don't know. Anyway, she ruled that an illegal immigrant's Second Amendment rights were violated when he was charged with unlawfully possessing firearms. So apparently this illegal Alberto Flores has Second Amendment rights?
Wait, which state?
Illinois.
I don't. It's not a I don't know if it's constitutional carry state, but if you're illegal, that doesn't apply to you.
Yeah, no, it
You
doesn't.
could be misconstruing it if they are a constitutional carry state.
No, you're an illegal. You don't have any rights.
I know, but I'm saying she could be draining the truth.
Right.
He doesn't have rights, but she could be trying to spin a narrative that he does
Why are we
when he
here? We're
don't.
gonna die here.
This is where the story mission is.
Rats. Well,
Just run.
but it's absurd because it's like, okay, an illegal can carry. Really, that's quite the stretch there. I think we should kill these turrets before going on. Got one. And it's amazing the amount of people I was seeing online who were backing this up. Like, they don't care one bit about gun rights until it comes to illegals, and then suddenly, oh boy. And we're not supposed to believe that they just hate white Americans, and that's all it is. Like, that's totally the liberal agenda. They just hate themselves. The morons. Golly, there's too many enemies.
I believe.
And, you know, there were those, like, ridiculous claims. Which look less ridiculous every day. That the government is using the illegals like the barbarians in Rome, where they're the silent invaders, basically.
Yeah, I don't really think
But
there's much argument. He doesn't
but it
have those
looks
rights.
more and more like that every day if they're literally trying to arm illegals.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that to a degree. I mean, they're porting them all in for votes.
I mean, that's true. So
Why not let them protect themselves from the majority you don't like?
Yeah.
That you dang well know arm themselves,
Right. Yeah, I don't think that there's some sort of organized conspiracy for them to be sleeper agents.
Oh, not organized. They're probably just saying, "Oh, let it happen. Let them
But
have the gun."
I think it may happen anyway, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And Alex Jones seems to think so, and as crazy as he is, he's very good at predicting things, so
That
you
he
know.
is.
There's probably got to be some merit to it, but I don't think that there's one person, one ringleader who's
Nah.
puppeteering a sleeper army. I think it just might be something that happens by fault of these ridiculous policies. Because I mean that's just, yeah, it's really stretching. That's really weak to say that they have Second Amendment rights. Some people argue that he does because the Constitution, I think the wording in the Constitution is that it says everyone. But even though, but I think there's an inherent misunderstanding in that.
Obviously.
Because even though everyone who is in the country is
I believe
subject
with
to
that
law,
logic, if it means everyone, the Constitution is basically saying, "Oh yeah, your enemies can have the weapons too."
right?
Our
Yeah,
weapons.
like even though, like the misunderstanding is that even though everyone who comes into the country is under law, they don't all have rights. Therefore, that's just not how it works at all. So it's a pretty stupid and foolish claim. So, no surprise there. But pretty weird thing to happen. So there was a
I'm not
referendum.
entirely worried though. I'm a better shot.
Well, maybe better shot than your average illegal, but you gotta watch out for those gang members
I mean, yeah, there are a
who
lot
have
coming in with weapons on them,
yeah,
so
who
you
have
know.
been in shootouts, a lot more combat experience than us. But there's a referendum in Ireland where the government proposed some changes to the constitution, namely they wanted to alternate the definition of family, and they wanted to alter the
What?
definition of women, women's role in the home. So
Why?
the Irish Constitution says that like family is the cornerstone that the nation is built on, and it specifically mentions like married people, you know, under God, that kind of thing. And so they want to account for people who aren't married.
No, it's just a woke
And
thing.
for
They don't like the family because the family
to account
threatens
for
their
other
ideology,
religions.
so they want to change it.
Right. And so what
But they're hiding it
they
behind
wanted to
this,
say
obviously.
is durable relationships, which is
Right.
spectacularly silly. Just the way that sounds, durable relationships, really? And of course that's all it says. It's ill-defined on purpose. I mean, what's a durable relationship? How do you look at someone and categorize that? It's so silly. And so yeah, it's a breakdown of the family, because then the family doesn't get as many privileges from the government. And they also want homemakers, like stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home wives, to not count as a job. So they're it's really just sort of a dehumanizing bureaucracy, where they're trying to say is, oh, this isn't a real economic boosting job. And it is if you're raising children, actually. So you shouldn't get any privilege for this. No tax breaks or nothing. That's pretty much what this is. I mean, I'm sure that some of this is inspired by woke, but it has to do a lot with breaking down the family unit and not having Ireland built on that, and not having it be an important thing.
Oh, but of course.
In the
That's all
name
they want.
of equality and people who are not married and don't have kids and this and that. When in reality, what we have is equity, and it is perfectly fair, because the family really is that important for a society and for a country. So these are the referendums that they proposed, and the Irish people voted on these referendums. And guess what Ireland said?
No.
Yeah, they said no. How about no?
No surprise there.
Yeah. And by a good majority, too. It wasn't even a close vote.
Again, no surprise there.
And it's just yet another thing that shows you that, yes, Ireland is, like, even though the government has gotten so woke and so bad and so insulting to its citizens, it's not a reflection of the majority in Ireland at all, because the majority is still very normal religious family folk, because that's just what Ireland has always
Walton
been
Goggins?
and always will be. It looks
It
like
kind of
him.
looks like him.
Yeah, it does. So another great win for the lads. It seems like every time the government in Ireland does something ridiculous, the Irish people respond hilariously. I bet this is the first time that their government wished they weren't a republic. Mad lads. Can't tell where I'm being shot from. Oh. Hans and Franz? Going to pump you up. Or I'm guessing that was the reference. Alright, so a couple more things. Gavin Newsom signs a law to protect the identities of criminals.
What?
Yep.
How about no?
And the California police they still have to take photos of the criminals and share photos of the criminal, no matter what Gavin Newsom might say.
Yeah, how are you supposed to
So
catch anybody if you're going to protect their identity?
they have been sharing pictures of perps with Lego heads photoshopped over them.
What?
It is absolutely
Wait, repeat that?
ridiculous. There are the photos of these arrests, these druggies and thieves with Lego heads.
That's... Oh, I didn't mean to jump. That's something else.
So just in case you didn't know how much of a clown state California is, then you can see all their ridiculous photos of criminals with Lego heads. Some of them are kind of funny, like if they use like a crying Lego head. That one was kind of amusing. But obviously an absolutely ridiculous policy.
Yeah.
Because having these, like, the public has a right to be able to identify criminals. Like, that's for public safety. And, of course, like you said, it also helps in identifying criminals in manhunts and things like that. Like, just... I'm just so sick of California and New York trying their hardest to protect criminals. But when it's, like, a detriment to the safety of everyone else. Like, what in the world is wrong with you?
I
Like, these
Jeez,
photos...
I got nothing besides you gotta be insane to protect criminals.
You do. Like, it just feels like something you shouldn't have to explain. And your brain kind of backs up a little bit. Because you're just like, what? They hurt people. That's what makes them a criminal. They are people who hurt people. And need to be
get
kept
the
from hurting
our
other people.
system is supposed to work innocent until proven guilty, but you know, you were found as having committed a crime, so why why are we doing
Yeah,
this?
you need to be kept from hurting more people. So we take preventative measures. Why is this difficult? Like, these photographs are for the safety of everyone else. It is for the benefit of the citizens. And you're just going to cover it up with Legos. Legos.
They couldn't have been creative and at least gotten like a caricature artist. You know, that would have been funny.
Too much time and money.
You know, it would still be the criminal, but it would have been so cartoonishly proportioned that, you know, you wouldn't know.
I mean, it's more work than
And it would make it
just...
kind of funny.
It's more work and funnier than just blurring their faces, at least. Because that's what they're supposed to do. So, I mean...
So blurring their faces was too hard, and they decided Lego heads.
I guess. Or the police is just taking the piss. I don't know.
Okay.
But nevertheless, Gavin Newsom is an idiot tyrant, and he deserves to be
Yeah, we know.
ejected from office, ejected from the state of California, ejected from the country, and ejected into the sun.
And yeah, you saw what he did for a Chinese leader. It's insane.
Yeah, can't do that for his citizens, though. It'd take just a week to clean the whole place up, but he's not going to do it.
Of course not. Why would he?
I just want to stab him in the leg so bad. In Minecraft. I wish that Gavin Newsom had a Minecraft account.
He's just got nothing. It's so insane.
It's just absolutely unconscionable. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, just
Like, how much do you have to hate normal people? How sympathetic to criminals do you have to be to do that? It's unthinkable.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It's just like
You gotta love criminals.
when people hurt people, you do things to keep them from hurting more people. Like, just basic laws of the universe. Is that goodness must be enforced if you're going to have it. Oh. Can't with these people. Alright, last thing.
Doesn't make sense.
UN climate advisor Yes, the UN has a climate advisor. Of course they do.
Because you need that,
She's a
apparently.
Pakistani woman named Aisha Siddiqua, or Siddiqa, or something like that. She says, the white man has brought life to the edge of extinction. I say that the white man built everything, but whatever. And she says, racial harmony is a fallacy.
Right.
And, of course, everyone who hype mans diversity, equity, and inclusion and equality are all gathering to clap this and cheer this person on. As if it isn't racist and the complete opposite of their alleged principles. I mean, this person just does it straight out, and her whole social media is like this. She's always raging against the white man. Most of her posts start or end like that, with saying that's literally what she calls them, the white man. Like how much do you have to regress, woman? Why are you're part of the UN? You're not supposed to be regressing the world. You incompetent fool. And I mean, shows you exactly where her loyalties lie. Apparently she hates anyone who isn't Pakistani and doesn't have their best interests in mind. What's she doing as a advisor for the UN? No business being in that position.
What is this weapon?
But of course we can only assume that this is just the policy of everyone at the UN. Is that they're a bunch of racist bastards. Wouldn't you say that's a safe assumption, that everyone at the UN is a bunch of racist bastards? That works for you?
That works for me.
Great, because it works for me too. Perfect.
Hold on, I just picked up an insanely powerful weapon. What even is this?
But there you go. That's climate activists, ladies and gentlemen. The people who implore you to trust the science. But really, they want you to trust their stupid agenda and their terrible, raging racism. These are the people that you let talk. These are the people that you listen to. They hate you because of the color of your skin. And you're going to let that be. You're just going to take that because they're the ones that will actually worry about climate change, and they're the ones that you feel like listen to you. I mean, are you so pathetic?
I'm about to die.
Do you really hate yourself that much? Sorry, I was in the middle of my ult. I couldn't get out.
I mean, if you were a climate advisor, I guess I'd hate myself too.
I mean,
you know,
she hates.
I'm a pretty useless
humans.
human being if I'm a climate advisor. So yeah, I'd hate myself.
I mean, what an incredibly hateful person. She hates human beings. Doesn't think that they should be on this earth doing things and having emissions. And then you can even compartmentalize that down to the fact that she absolutely hates white people. Like, bravo, sounds wonderful. She sounds wonderful, not at all like just a hateful bigot. I'm lost. I just opened a really slow door. Man, that door was slow.
Took my kill.
There you go.
Oh.
You win, ladies and gentlemen.
A joke.
Oh, I pressed E.
You weren't fast enough.
A complete joke. Just a bunch of racist bastards. And I mean, I guess that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thanks for listening, and if you like the channel, you can watch my review on the live action Avatar. I watched it so that you don't have to, and it was really, really bad, and I will tell you how it was bad just for you, and because heaven knows I didn't enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I took my kill.
And you can expect my review on Dune 2 rather soon, and I guess a review on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And hopefully that's good. Could use a little of that. So if you made it this far, you watched all the way to the end, you can comment, feed Gavin Newsom to barbecue. There we go.
That's right.
Feed Gavin Newsom to barbecue. The gang leader. Make
Barbecue Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, make Gavin Newsom into barbecue and feed him to barbecue. Just barbecue Gavin Newsom. That will suffice. It's what he deserves.
That's right.
And hey, thanks for listening.
Good night and big balls.